Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
To the kingdom of Israel!
Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua.
The election, an aristocracy, meaning rule of the best, a group or class considered superior to others, a government by the best men in the state, a governing body composed of the best men in the state, and that's the elect. We're about to have it all right? Psalms 37 and verse 11, and it reads, "But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." That word for peace in the Hebrew is shalom, which goes into safety, soundness in body, meaning we're going to truly have rest, welfare, health, prosperity, peace, quiet, tranquility, contentment. So we're going to fully enjoy the planet Earth. We're going to rule and exist within the Lord's creation as we were created to do. I'm ready to rule the world, man. How about you?
Let the golden light of this sunset guide our
How about you, Rakata Yahweh, Rakata Yahweh, Rakata Yahweh, Rakata Yahweh.
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
The ocean spirit dances today to abundance and joy and to eternal peace.
See, this is what we're hoping for. This is part of our hope. Not only that we are members of the elect, with fruits meet for repentance, like John the Baptist said, but from our lower state, because we've been brought low, even though we have this knowledge, we have this truth. Remember what it said in Revelation. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Because we're rich in faith. We have this knowledge. So our hope is at our last end, we're going to be increased. Okay? And if you ask me, the greatest riches right now is to be delivered by Yahweh Shai, is to get that new body that the Apostle Paul spoke about in 1 Corinthians 15th chapter, to get that. Get that new body where we'll never be sick, we'll be immortals, like it said in 1 Corinthians 15, to be delivered from the coming destruction and to be a part of Yahweh's cabinet in the next kingdom. Okay, those are the real riches right now. That's what we want to get. Because if you get that, you got everything. I mean, you got everything. Okay, so our sights are set a lot higher than this present world. All right, as it is written, the fashion of this world shall pass away. We are individuals of vision, and the scripture said, where an individual lacks vision, he perishes. Okay, so we can see the future. All right, and we hope that we're going to be part of it, beginning with the elect.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hope elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right, this morning, news and prophecy, war on information. All right, and the deal of vanity. It's the main two things, we want to get into. All right, and this war of information, begins with the Lord raising up the prophets. All right, because there's no one that has a more thorough understanding, all right, of the agenda of the elites, which is in detail in prophecy. Okay, and within the ministry of the prophets, Esau, Edom is being directly called out. All right, so we know the devil, is gearing up, and pushing propaganda. All right, setting traps, within his legislation and his certain laws. All right, to justify him, coming after the prophets. And he's going to come after, these certain truthers, these certain alternative news sites, and, certain talking points that's against, his agenda, his new world order. He's getting ready to come at them as well. Okay, but we know at the forefront of this man's agenda is the prophets, man. All right, because we're going to be on every extremist list this nigga got. Okay, anti-Semitism, anti-tech, anti-America. Okay, anti-Christian, we're going to be on every extremist group and category that this nigga has, man. And we have to have our mind, all right, prepared for that, man. Okay, and pray that the Lord put a spirit on us to endure, but we have what? The prophecies, which is the comfort. You see, matter of fact, let's get some precepts. Okay, let's begin with what Yahweh Shai, as Yahweh Shai promised to send what? A comforter, which is the understanding of his word. So when we go into these scriptures, we're comforted by the times that we're coming into. Okay, we're comforted. See, we're not going into these times with no comfort. You see, and that's why you see the zeal on brothers constantly increasing, man. Okay, you're seeing the output on brothers increasing, the potency of brothers increasing because there's a spirit on us, man, that pure influence from the Most High. And that spirit contains what? A comfort as well. Okay, when you go to St. John 14:16, it says, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter that he may abide with you forever. Okay, so Yahweh Shai prayed to the Father, that he will send down the comforter for the believers, man, the church, all right, the hopeful elect in these times. Okay, even the spirit of truth. And see, we understand the truth, man. Okay, and understand the truth, it takes the boogeyman effect from Esau. Okay, because this man, some shape, form, or fashion, he has the earth terrified, man. Okay, because of the power he was given on the left hand side. But one thing about being in the truth, man, as we mature, as our faith grows, man, it takes away that boogeyman effect from this nigga, man. It takes away the fear of death. You know, that's another thing Esau plays on, you know, is the fear of death. Okay, which a lot of people through desperation and the fear of death, you know, are getting ready to bend the knee. Okay. But you say, going back into it, says, even the spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. Okay. So there's a spirit that's dwelling within us that's comforting us going into these times, man. Because we know this devil gonna roll, but guess what? There's a standard promise. And even in death, the Lord said, that there was some that will be beheaded, going by how the devil shall, you know, put us in prison, be faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life, man. So we're comforted by it, because even in death we win. You see, and really death, all right, for the elect, there is no death, man. Okay, that's just another step to becoming immortal. Because those that die in Yahweh are going to be raised immortal, man. So really, there's no death for the elect, man. Okay, Esau can only send us to the heavenly Father and get that job well done. All right, send us before the throne of Yahweh and get that job well done. You know, and when Yahweh returns, guess what? The elect are going to be, all right, those that die of the elect are going to be raised first, man. So we have a victory. We're comforted by however it play out, man. It work in our favor. Okay, and we're comforted by that. You see, and we deal with the whole counsel of the Lord as you go into the book of Acts chapter 20. Okay, but we got to go into these things because these are times that we're coming into. We're coming to serious times, man. Okay, and we know that this devil is agitated. He's frustrated, man. Okay, that's what we have to understand. This devil is frustrated, man. This new world order ain't no easy test for Esau. Trying to beat the Most High with technocracy, trying to control all the people, you know, with this technology, man. This is not no easy task for this devil, man. Okay, and he's been ousted at every turn. You know, he's terrors on every side. He's in straits. He's wearied. So we know this man is finna spaz out. Okay, and throw a tantrum, man. Okay, and we know the number one priority is going to be the church, man, the prophets. Okay, this Acts 20 and 27 said, "For I have not shunned to declare unto you all right, the counsel of the Most High." You see, and this is Apostle Paul speaking, you know, before he goes to Jerusalem, where, you know, they tell him pretty much, you know, that he's going to be bound, you know. So this is his farewell, all right, as he's leaving, all right, this particular church. I forgot what church it was exactly. All right, yeah, farewell to Ephesus. So the church in Ephesus, okay, which I believe is the church that Timothy was you know, the bishop of. Okay, but when you go here, it says, read Acts 20 and 27 again. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. You know, so we deal with, you know, like our life is on the line. You know, death is a possibility. Okay, being beheaded for the testimony of Yahweh. We deal with that, and we also deal with a standard being lifted against this devil too. Okay, we deal with it all, man. So from both spectrums, you know, we're not shying away from what this thing is about, man. Okay, because we fully need to know, okay, what we're involved in going into these times, man. See, we're not here to play games, switch up the doctrine, and got this scandal going on and this soap opera, and you know, our wife rapping, you know, telling our business and all this old goofy shit these niggas on, man. In the clutch, man. Okay, we in the clutch, man, and this is the goofy shit that niggas is on, man. Okay, we in the mindset that hey, any day now, man. The door can swing open any day. We doing these lessons and bringing these things out. Hey, that door can get kicked off the hinges any day. Okay, there's always a thing. You see, so um, let's go here and just deal with both spectrums, and then we'll get into a couple of videos. Now, this is Revelation 14 and 13. It says, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yeah, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them." Okay, which means their works are accounted for and they're going to be rewarded with immortality, man, with rulership, everlasting. You see, forever, man. Okay, so now, man, the Lord has the elect covered even in death, man. So this devil's getting ready to huff and puff and threaten us, beat his chest, okay, and go on his last, tantrum. You see, we have to understand that now we're comforted by we're good however it play out. The elect gonna be good however it play out, man. Okay, and then you have this aspect of it. Okay, when you go here, um, let's go to Isaiah 59. Okay, in 19 it says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah, shall lift up a standard against him." Okay, so we know that the devil is going to come in like a flood. He's going to come and try to overwhelm. He's going to have his high tech, officers with all their high tech technology and weaponry and this and that, and AI. Okay, but guess what? It's going to be a standard that's going to be lifted that's above AI. Okay, that trash as AI. Okay, and that the weaponry of this devil, which is all of his trash compared to the standard that the Lord going to lift, man. Okay, now if you're just you're out here without the Lord, well, yeah, so this nigga's going to be a guide unto you with all this high tech weaponry and technology. Okay, but when the standard is lifted, man, all right, this devil, he's going to be through, because he's not going to have an answer for this standard that's going to be lifted against his ass, man. Okay, there's one thing. There's one thing that we know. All right, that our power, he's going to lift a standard that this devil, he's not going to be able to do anything with. Okay, and even now, as we teach this word, all right, because you look at the people that come against this man in this system, how much hell they catch. Eric Snowden. Okay, certain what's your guy? They used to do those interviews. He used to be with Nick Rockefeller, but I think they knocked him off. El Apostle Bar always going to him. I can't think of his name. Okay. Would you go into these different truthers and insights? Some of them be getting knocked off, in prison, their life ruined. You see? But the Lord has allowed us free course, man, to teach this word, and there's no one that's getting at us like there's no one that's getting at Esau like the prophets, man. Okay, because we're linking him to judgment according to the Bible. We're linking him to captivity. We're linking him to everything that he's doing is going to fail. And Yahweh Shai is coming to destroy his empire, man. So we're linking him, all right, to the nitty gritty. You see, yeah, that's his name, Aaron Russo. Yeah, that's the guy, Aaron Russo at the water, So yeah, that guy, Aaron Russo, that's a guy like Snowden. You see, they don't have the hedge. The Lord puts a spirit on them. Their own tongue shall fall upon them. So you have a spirit on certain people to go in, okay, on the devil. But you see, they don't have their protection. Even these certain leaders, they try to buck this beast system. Okay. Hey, Esau, go get their ass, man. Your Bin Ladens, your Saddams, your Gaddafis. Okay. That's the guy, Venezuela, the one before Maduro. They got Maduro, but then they got Chavez. Okay. And then there's some that we don't even hear about. Uh, there's plenty more. You see, but see, they don't have their protection. Okay, from on high. Okay, so let's yep. So Aaron Russo, he out of here. He supposedly passed away from bladder cancer. Okay. Just a quick look about looking up some But let's read this real quick and then we'll segue to the video. This is Jeremiah 15:20. It says, "And I will make thee unto this people a fence, brazen wall, and they shall fight against thee." Okay, so the Lord has made a fence, brazen wall, man. So we, all right, we're not out. The Lord don't got us just out here preaching His word, vulnerable, man. Nah, man, there's a fence, brazen wall. There's a defense. Okay, it says, "But they shall not prevail against thee, for I'm with thee to save thee and to deliver thee," said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. So these devils don't prevail. You know, the Lord's going to allow some martyrs, but then it's going to be a standard lift. These devils are not going to prevail with their agenda, man. They want to completely silence the prophets, man. Well, no, the Lord is going to empower the prophets, man. All right, the exact opposite. You see, in these last days, man. Okay, and it says, "And I will deliver thee out of the hand of the wicked, and I will redeem thee out of the hand of the terrible." And that's ultimately the return of Yahushua. Okay, when Yahushua destroys his whole beast system, all right, sets America on blaze, sends the elites, all right, scary asses, scurrying in there, all right, bunkers, goddamn cowards. Okay, so let's go here. Let's play this. You know, so they got this thing. Let's play this.
The phrase I want everyone to know, and your audience may already be familiar with this because I know you talk about these types of issues, but the phrase I want everyone to key in on is called pattern of life data. Pattern of life data is the stuff that people used to tell you, don't worry about this because it's boring, nobody cares. What time do you get up in the morning? What route do you take to work? Where do you go for lunch? This is pattern of life data. And in the past, people would say, my life is so boring, no one cares. Yes, they do. Because with pattern of life data, I can start making predictions about you. How likely are you to buy this new product? So advertisers want pattern of life data, but much, much worse than that. I made a video about Florida House Bill 945. This was introduced this year in the Florida legislature, and it passed through 3 House committees before it finally stalled. It's not dead. It's dead for this year, but I can almost guarantee that it will be back next year. Here's what Florida House Bill 945 does. Number one, it grants the Florida government. It was not real specific. Does this mean the governor or does this mean the legislature? But it grants the Florida government the right to determine who is on the terrorist list. Today, the president of the United States makes that decision. Yep.
Even Catherine said, "What?" Hey, you see? So they're putting plays together, okay, on the left hand through their legislation, man. All right, to make it easy, okay, to crack down, okay, on this information. You see, and we know the top priority is going to be the prophets, man. Okay, so we see this nigga slithering with this legislation, man. Okay, so let's run it back a little bit, play some more.
Grants the Florida government. It was not real specific. Does this mean the governor or does this mean the legislature? But it grants the Florida government the right to determine who is on the terrorist list. Today, the president of the United States makes that decision. Yep. But it's going to grant the state government the ability to decide who's a terrorist. I don't like that. And this is not a slam on Ron DeSantis. I don't think governors should have that authority, because if 50 governors have that authority, I can virtually guarantee there are organizations I belong to that are going to be on somebody's terror list. Right. Because depending on who the governor is, you know, the NRA, clearly that's a terrorist organization. So I don't want governors having that authority, period. But beyond that, House Bill 945 creates a new anti-terrorism group in Florida, because nobody at the federal level fights terrorism. I say very sarcastically. Department of Justice, the FBI, National Counterterror Center. I mean, on and on. There's dozens of federal agencies that are dedicated to fighting terrorism. But Florida House Bill 945 creates a state-level anti-terrorism task force, and they are tasked with identifying, here's the new term, the word terrorist has a very specific meaning. You pick up any dictionary, a terrorist is a person or organization that uses violence or the threat of violence to achieve a political end. Well, the state of Florida.
So now they're changing the definition of terrorist. Okay. And then they got a new word for it. All right. And this plays into the devil creating all these different categories. Okay. They are considered criminal. Okay. So he can handle you with no rights. Because once you're deemed a terrorist, you have no rights. You have no, all right, no trial. Okay. You can get, indefinite detention. Okay. Which is pretty much a life sentence on the whim. Okay. So he's setting it up, man. We know the devil uses words, okay, as entrapments, man. So listen to this new way of saying terrorist, man. Okay.
Created a new term. They call it an adversary intelligence entity. So they're not using the T word, they're calling it an adversary intelligence entity.
An adversary intelligence entity. Okay, let's play the adversary intelligence entity. Okay. Anyone that's averse to his new world order. Anyone that's averse to his talking points, his pseudoscience. Okay. So he just broadened what it means to be a terrorist. Okay. With this term, all right, adversary intelligent entity. You see, and he just throw whole groups in, individuals. Okay. So let's play a little more.
But that is defined as, hope everyone's seated, a government, a non-governmental organization, a group, a business, a corporation, blah, 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 or individual. So a single person could be an adversary intelligence entity. So what makes an individual an adversary intelligence entity? Any individual whose demonstrated actions or views or opinions are deemed a threat to the interest of the state. I have a huge constitutional problem with that language. If someone determines my views or my opinions are a threat to the interest of the state, I'm now labeled. I'm labeled as a adversary intelligence entity. And a couple of immediate questions come to my mind. Number one, who gets to decide what are the interests of the state? Is that the governor's job? Is that the legislature's job? Is that the court's job? Who determines the interest of the state?
Because in my experience, it's the major donors.
So these tech guys, okay, which are linked to what? The elites. Okay, so you see that he's making it very easy, all right, to be labeled a threat to the state. Okay, which gives him all authority, all right, to neutralize that threat. Okay, so we know where this devil is going. All right, now let's go. Let's get this. And I'll put the link up there, brothers want to respond to it. Okay. So he's just making it real easy for him to all right, categorize, okay, any adversity to his agenda. Okay. And gives him the authority to enforce, okay, punishments. You see? So let's play this again just to show you how easy he's making it for himself. Okay, to categorize, man. You best believe we're going to be in the mix.
So what makes an individual an adversary intelligence entity? Any individual whose demonstrated actions or views or opinions are deemed a threat to the interest of the state.
Yep.
I have a huge constitutional problem with that.
So he can just take any talking, and how easy with him to use talking points of the Bible, okay, to put us in the category of adversary intellectual entities, man. And he said he can do it, they can do it on the group level, individual level. Okay. So yeah, man, the stage is being set, which hey, this all plays in our favor, like we always get. Romans 8:28. Your brother want to get that. Okay, but I want to get this in Revelation. All right. Let's get this in the book of Revelation, chapter 12. Scripture say what he, how you make a man an offender for a word, we is in Isaiah. Brother want to post that. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 12. All right. In verse 10, it says, and I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power. Okay, and this is when Yahweh Shai has put down all authority of the world's governments. Okay, beginning with Esau, Edom, and his beast system, and the power of his anointed. All right, for the accuser of our brother is cast down. You see, we coming to a time where this nigga finna be cast down. So he has to play his role as the accuser. Okay, he has to play his role. He's doing exactly what's assigned for him to do within prophecy, within his role in prophecy, man. And the Lord is constantly telling us to fear not. Okay, you see, the Lord got a special cake baked for this nigga called Esau, man. Okay, it says which accused them before our power day and night. Okay, so when you go, as Yashawamba, he always goes into this word. Okay, but when you go into the accuser, okay, the accuser, that Greek word,
Strong's G 2723. Categareo. Categareo.
yeah, categoreo. Okay, which we know that goes into category. So he creates these categories, which the latest is this adverse, all right, adversary, intellectual entity. Okay, which that's vague as hell. You see? So he's able to do what? To charge with some offense. Okay, to charge with some offense because he wants an offense that's going to stick. Okay, within his courts. Okay, so the stage is being set, just as they ensnared Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai said we will have to drink of the cup. Okay, and what did they do with Yahweh Shai? They ensnared him within the courts of Rome. Okay, they made seem as he was treason. He was committing treason based off the doctrine. Okay, and he was pushing sedition. Okay, because those wicked niggas wanted, they wanted to accuse Yahweh Shai with Roman law. So we're coming into these same time. Okay, so let's get a couple. Let's see. And the brothers got that, the water. To you, Akim. All right, this is the brother Bayan Yashala. This is Romans 8. All right, and 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Most High, to them who are called according to his purpose. So yeah, this all works in our favor. We need this nigga to make these accusations. All right. We need him to bear false witness, against the church, against the believers, beginning with the prophets, man. Because that sets the stage for the Lord to lift a standard. Okay, we need the devil, to think that he got us, You see, that's what Pharaoh thought. When we was between Pharaoh, all right, and the Red Sea, or to be technical, the Gulf of Suez. Okay, when we was between, Pharaoh and the sea, it looked like we was finished. Okay, but the Lord set the stage to what? To work a miracle, man. So the Lord is setting the stage to work a miracle against this nigga, man. That's what's happening, man. So all this, once he get through with all this tackiness, okay, and go with his move, man. Okay, he's gonna, the Lord's gonna allow some martyrs, and the Lord gonna lift a standard. Okay, this is the time, this is the phase of prophecy that we're going into, man. Okay, so let's get this from the brother Isaiah 29:21. This from the brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. It says that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reprove it at the gate and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Yeah, man. And he's trying to make his ministry a thing of nothing. But it's over with, because this is not just brother could Ecclesiastes 8:4. Okay, we're gonna keep getting it, because Esau don't understand the power that's behind his word. Okay, this is not just a word that we're speaking. We're not just some investigative journalists. Okay, with a bunch of free time to. No, man, no. The spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai is on particular men. Okay, to shake the hand at the gates of the nobles, as the scriptures say. Okay, so it says that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reprove it in the gate and turn aside the just for a thing of naught, man. And he wants to turn his ministry into the nothing, man. Okay, yep. And the brother put verse 20. Let's get verse 20. Verse 20 heavy too. All right, it says Isaiah 29:20. This is the brother Malak, hope for elect 144. Said, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, man. And all that watch for iniquity, okay, are cut off, man. So this devil is being consumed by the word, just as it says in the book of 2 Thessalonians, man. Esau is being consumed, man, and he's finna lash out. We have to remember, we're dealing with a man with everything to lose. Okay? We're dealing with a man that has everything to lose. All right, so let's get these two. Let's go here, because now, okay, we see prophecy just speaking. Okay, let's go here. This is the brother service of Yahushua, Ecclesiastes 8:4. It says, where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, what doest thou? So where the word of a king is, there is power. You see? And this book is the word of a king. It's the words of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And we're seeing the power behind these words, because guess what? Everybody is subjugated to these words. Okay? All these, military alliances. If it's meant for you to be in this world war, guess what? The Lord got you prepared for this war. Okay? From America, the small hats, Iran, Russia, China, North Korea. Guess the Lord got you prepared for this war because it's in the word. Okay? If you're meant to be a scoffer, guess what? You're going to scoff. Okay? Because why? You're subjugated to the power of the king, which is this word. This word is power. Okay? 2/3 doing what the 2/3 are doing. Why? Because it's in the word. Okay? They're subjugated to the power. Everything is subjugated to the power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay? The MOTB was written, thousands of years ago. This prophecy was written thousands of years ago. And guess what? These devils, all right, are subjugated to making this thing manifest, man. Okay, everyone is subjugated to the power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. There's no other way Esau can go but to make this technology mandatory. There's no other alternative that he got. Why? Because the power of the word. Okay, so let's play this, and then brother, go ahead and get Revelation 13, 16, and 17 Bible shop. Okay, matter of fact, let me read this in the NLT as well. NLT tough too. It's the brother Y'all, your call, hope for 144. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 8:4 says his commands. All right, his command is backed by great power. No one can resist or question it. You see? So this word is backed by great power. And we come with the words of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. We come with his words. He told Jeremiah, I'm gonna put my words in thy mouth, man. Okay? So we're backed by the words of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. You see? The power doesn't come from, all right, from within us, man. It flows through us from a source. Okay? We're not the source of this power. Okay, that's in his word. We're a vessel that this word is flowing through. The source of the power is Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay? You see, we're just filters that the Lord used to speak to the earth, man. Okay, in power. You see? So let's play this.
Putting microchips inside of prisoners. Here it is. Major tech companies propose putting microchips inside of prisoners. Here it is.
So a digital rights group called Foxglove has just obtained meeting minutes from a UK government roundtable where Google, Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, and Palantir were all proposing, surgically implanting chips, like microchips, inside prisoners in order to track their behavior and their location in real time. And here's the thing about all of that. You see, that meeting took place a little over a year ago, and those proposals have been sitting under consideration for that entire year, and nobody knew about it until a few days ago when those minutes were made public. And according to Ministry of Justice sources, none of those proposals have been ruled out. They're all still on the table. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then you already know why my face looks like this. Because last year, I published a 7-part investigation called Who TF is in My Head, and it was about Elon Musk and his company Neuralink and about the potential for experimentation on incarcerated people, potentially, allegedly, when it comes to testing this technology, allegedly.
Do I have to say it out loud? Number one, this is a pretext to create the context to knock on your door. Okay? This isn't just for prisoners. Look at the companies who are involved. These companies are end consumer companies, meaning the consumer is the one buying the end product. These are not companies that typically deal with just prisoners as their end consumer. You're talking about companies whose end consumer is you and I. Number one. Two, prisoners still have rights. Those who are incarcerated, 99% of them come home eventually. So prisoners still have rights. And do they have a right to say no to this proposal? And lastly, if this happens, which we are hoping it doesn't, it's a ridiculous idea and erodes more of your sanctity and rights as a human being. If this happens, well, that means that wherever they go, once they are released, individuals who are formerly incarcerated, do they keep the chip? So that means everywhere they go, the chip is still activated, even in your home and restaurant. Continue to bring you updates on this insanity. It is unfortunate that we even have to address it. And once again, who's the guinea pig? Well, those they feel as if are the least of these. If you're a person of faith, you already know that's not how it works. Indisputable is still the fast.
Yeah, so and another point with this new world order, Esau, he wants to turn the earth to a lab. See, the new world order is the beginning of him really trying to tap into immortality through technology. Okay. But he's presented as if it's a gift. This technology is a gift to humanity. But ultimately, he's finna start experimenting on a whole nother level. Because he wants to tap into immortality through technology, but he needs people to experiment on, man. And this new world order is going to give him, his mind, this new world order is going to give him a free run just doing unlimited test trials on people. Because once you're in the New World Order, ain't no bucking up. Okay, they got everything completely controlled and locked down, so they don't have to worry about people bucking up against the system in the New World Order. It's gonna be a system of complete control. This is how this nigga is thinking, man. Okay, so and Jake in prison, the most vulnerable. All right, he can promise these niggas to cut their time. And, okay, well, look, this is gonna make it. We do this experiment on you. Okay, or we got technology to where you can serve your 25 years in 7 minutes. Okay, all this BS pseudoscience, man. Okay, this lying wonders, man. Okay, so yeah, man, and this is just the devil tapping into prophecy, man. Okay, doing what prophecy said he would do. Okay, so let's go. See the brother. This is it's the brother Yashima, tribe of Judah, Revelation 13-16. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, these men in prison. You see how detailed the prophecies are. Okay, rich and poor, all different classes. Okay, small and great, man. No matter what your status is, man, you're going to be required to merge with this technology. All right, to participate in this beast system, man. Okay, to receive a right mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, and this has been a lot of talk lately. Is this Neuralink, man? Okay, there's been a lot of talk, man. The Neuralink and the brain chip. This is becoming the thing, and you got people that want it. Okay, and you got verse 17 in the NLT. This is a brother you call Hopeful Lake. It says that no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which either the name or the beast or the number represent his name. Okay, so we knowing that and buying and selling just one aspect of it, man. Okay, but it will be a major indicator of the technology that John seen. The fact that you cannot buy or sell without this technology, which will be a great indicator. It will be a token. Okay, it will be a function that will stand out, which is buying and selling. Okay, and we know that this is where this devil is going with it, man. All right, now I want to segue from there. All right, let me put this in the chat as well, just in case brother want to tap in. I think Elder Kazak had put that in the group chat down here. So let's segue to show you. All right, because you Americans. Yeah, the black church is a cemetery. You'll be better off going to a cemetery than the nigger church. Okay, there's no one that's less informed on the planet Earth. Okay, no one's less informed on the planet Earth than someone that's still going to a nigger church. Okay, now let's go here. Just to show you that you're American, you don't have a government. Okay, you're being fully transitioned to a technocracy, man. Like I said, I don't see another election. I'd be extremely surprised. Can't say that you can't count it out, but I'd be extremely surprised if there's another election, man. Okay, because this devil, all right, has used Trump. These elites have used Trump, to forge this technocracy so much, and to destroy, all right, the concept of this democracy, this delusion of a democracy. Even the little piece of democracy that you people had, it's been destroyed. Okay, and you're fully been given into the hands of technocrats, man. All right, and they're allowing, these elites are allowing some of these underlings, okay, these flunkies that they put out before the people, your Elon Musk, your Teals, your Alex Carp, Trump and his cronies. They're allowing them to enrich themselves, okay, as they're getting ready to transition. Okay, because we know, of course, Elon Musk is not the richest man, okay, in the world. They pushed it. He just a mascot. He's for distraction's sake. So people can look this way while there's a system being rolled out. Okay, so they allow spotlight get on certain of these flunkies, certain of their mascots that they put out there. Okay, while they roll out a whole system. Why people get focus on this man, like I say, Alex Karp, Sam Altman, Trump, and these different characters, but there's a whole system. Okay, they're Du Bois, okay, of a system that's being rolled out. All right, so let's play this.
So Elon Musk is now officially a trillionaire, y'all. And my takeaway from that is that humanity has objectively failed miserably. I actually was naive enough to think that the first time I heard the word trillionaire, I was naive enough to think like, oh, we'll never be that stupid and that self-destructive and that crazy to allow anybody to amass that much wealth. Because obviously that gives somebody way too much power, way too much wealth, way too much control, way too much power. And like, it just can't, we won't do that. Well, not only do we allow it to happen, it fucking happened with a whimper. I didn't see much pushback at all. The media didn't talk about it in the way that they should be talking about it, that this is motherfucking egregious and should never be allowed. And here we are. So, first off, let me just say this. Do yourself a big favor, y'all. Go to YouTube, type in Elon Musk More Perfect Union, and they've done a number of phenomenal breakdowns about this guy. This ultimate fucking fraud, scam artist, ketamine addicted Nazi prick. They have a great piece on exactly what happened to get him to this point, and that one's titled, "We Uncovered a Hidden Wealth Transfer in the SpaceX IPO. You're holding the bag." So what they explain in there is the money that's in a bunch of people's retirement accounts in index funds, right? They put the money in there, you don't think anything of it, and they're supposed to do like relatively safe investments in companies that are proven, but they change the rules to allow in a completely and utterly unproven company, and allow Elon Musk to right off the bat be included in those index funds. So regular people end up paying a ridiculous price to buy stock in SpaceX to pump up the value to make him a trillionaire effectively. So they actively change the rules to make working class regular people hold the bag and make Elon a trillionaire.
So yeah, what happens, they inflate, these stock prices of these companies. Because ultimately, like we always go into, this is military technology. Okay, with this guy Elon. You see? His whole Neuralink, SpaceX, this is nothing but military technology. They just make it seem as if it's a private corporation. Okay, so they're able to distribute this hardware, make people pay to install, okay, the hardware for the new world infrastructure. Okay, Starlink is becoming popular now. Okay, all this links into new world infrastructure. Okay, the Ring cameras, Starlink, all that work together with one system, man. Palantir, it all work together with one system. Okay, and with these companies, okay, they inflate the value of these companies because these companies are not even profitable. Okay, it's pretty much they're selling you, all right, new world order infrastructure to install yourself. Okay, in which we use these things, but we know what it is, and we know it's a time that look, we're gonna completely be detached from all this anyway. As believers, as scripture say, be ye even as pilgrims on the earth. We know a time we're gonna detach from these things, man. Okay, but we know that all this infrastructure, okay, all these companies, that they push as private. These are government companies disguised as private companies, man. Okay, so they can create these consumer markets for new world order infrastructure, new world order hardware. Or I say your Starlink, your Ring cameras, your CCT cameras, your these new cars, these EVs, all of it goes back to government infrastructure for the new world order. Okay. But like with these companies, what they do, they hype up they inflate the value of these companies, okay, to where people that have 401k where your money is automatically invested into certain companies. Well, they choose what companies that this money, this 401k money is invested in. And if a lot of people is investing and raise up the stock, so now you can, okay, value your company so much based on the stocks that are being sold, okay, and those stocks make these people, all right, fake billionaires, man. Okay, the money is real, but the the value of these companies is false, man. Okay, and if it go under, the company go under, guess who lose the money? Not them, the stock payers, the stockholders, man. The profit is going into actual profit from the stocks is going into these niggas, man. Okay, but if these things were to ever belly up, if one of these companies ever belly up, well, guess what? Who got to hold their back? The stockholders, man. You lose. Okay, which I gotta watch that video. I pulled it up. But Lord will, I watched that video. He was speaking about what was the name of it? Oh yeah, it's called Elon Musk More Perfect Union. The channel is More Perfect Union. You know, and I plan on watching the video and tapping into it, but it's More Perfect Union. Well, I got it pulled up, so you brothers want to watch it. You know, haven't watched it yet. I pulled it up because he spoke on it. You know, so but yeah, man, it's just a kingdom of scammers, man. You know, that's why scamming is so popular, because this kingdom is ran by scammers, man. You know why scammers looked at as a badge of honor in this society, man. Okay, so let's play a little more.
So go watch the whole thing. It's only 12 minutes long, but it explains it all in perfect detail. And you'll see how this is yet another of the Epstein class billionaires literally rigging the system. I remember covering a year ago, More Perfect Union did a video. We went to the town Elon Musk is poisoning. And it's about how a bunch of parts of Memphis, the predominantly black and brown parts of Memphis, are being poisoned because of Grok's data center there. There's massive emissions and people are having all sorts of health problems and nobody cares. The state is not stepping in at all. The federal government, of course, is not stepping in at all. These people are being slowly poisoned. You know, Elon Musk lied about the amount of emissions. They set up a bunch of generators that run 24/7. And like, this is what this guy does. Oftentimes to become one of the wealthiest people in the world, in his case, the literal wealthiest person in the world, you're not the smartest, you're not the hardest working, you're the most shameless and the most exploitative, right? Like you're basically the biggest prick, the biggest asshole, the biggest antisocial freak of anybody. And that's how you end up stepping on so many toes and hurting so many people and taking advantage of people and getting to this point. And then, like I said, if you scroll down here, we went to the town Elon Musk took hostage. There's a town in Texas that he basically took hostage and basically like took over the government. We went to the town Elon Musk cut off from Social Security. People forget about the Doge shit that Elon did. People forget that you had all these cuts, bro. You had, for the first time in the history of Social Security, they actually started missing payments. That's a first. In the past, they had never missed payments. As soon as Elon Musk got his fucking autistic ass hands on it, he destroyed it. So let's remember, the guy who is now a trillionaire is personally directly responsible for cutting pediatric cancer research. In fact, we had some literal potential cures that they cut the funding for those things. I mean, stop and think about how depraved that is. He cut the National Weather Service. Well, guess what? That reduced the number of weather balloons that are used for forecasting. And as a direct result of that, in Texas, there was a bad forecast and there was this massive.
And Baba Bashar, a brother, can post the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verses 3 and 4, and the book of Job, chapter 20, verses 4 through 7. Baba Bashar. Yeah, so the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verses 3 and 4, and the book of Job, chapter 20, verses 4 through 7, Baba Bashar.
a rain event, which led to a flood, which led to a bunch of little girls dying when they were camping in the woods. I'm not kidding. This is all directly because of Elon Musk. This is the guy who cut the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Well, that, of course, is basically the corporate cops. They make sure that big financial institutions can't screw you over. He destroyed that. So now if you get screwed over by a big financial institution, nothing is done to try to help you. You're just cooked, okay? They cut nuclear safety officials. He cut FEMA. They destroyed FEMA. He fired 83,000 veterans. He destroyed the Department of Education. He cut 50% of the Social Security offices, which again led to missed payments for the first time in their history. They fired 250,000 public workers overall, which led to, just absolute devastation for the administrative state and the regulatory state. They got rid of the food safety inspector, so now the food you eat is less safe. They got rid of air traffic controllers, which led to plane crashes. They cut all the scientific research and medical research, and the USAID cuts literally have led to hundreds of thousands that are dead already because people can't get their HIV medication or their malaria medication. This is all directly because
they cut everything that benefit American society. Doge was, the whole point of Doge was him to go through and gut the government, man, to hollow it out and make room for technocracy, man, to come and operate, man. So you have an operating technocracy now. Okay? There's nothing serving you American people. The EPA, we went into it the other day. The EPA do nothing. They do nothing that they're supposed to do. Okay? The Environmental Protecting Agency. Okay? The FDA does nothing they're supposed to do. The USDA does nothing they're supposed to do. OSHA pretty much does nothing they're supposed to do, because even with the mask mandates, that was an OSHA violation. And when you go back to the mask mandates, man, there was deliberate OSHA mandate to wear those masks in those certain environments for those in long periods of time, man. Okay? Nothing in government is working for you people. They've gutted the government out and they've hollowed out, all right, the government, and technocracy has filled their void. And they're going to continue to transition to this a full technocracy, man. So they're ready to hit the switch on this whole system. Okay? Yep, let's get this one, play a little more. And then we'll get those precepts you brothers got. It's the brother Yashima tribe of Judah. Proverbs 4:16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall, man. Okay? And this is all the devil is about. Yahweh Shai gave us a rundown. This nigga, the thief coming but to steal, kill, and destroy. That's it. Okay? So they enrich themselves while destroying the earth. They enrich and empower themselves. They're always looking of a way to enrich and empower themselves in the midst of destroying the earth, destroying the people, destroying life. You see? So let's play a little more.
Because of him, millions of people will die. And now fuck trillion. That's what you need to understand. Certainly a bunch of people online, they're revolting. And I think if you're even a little bit educated on this issue, you know that this man is beyond fraudulent. I mean, again, More Perfect Union had a video they released 3 years ago titled How Elon Musk Got Rich, the $230 billion Myth. And the whole thing is a fraud. I mean, understand, he took $38 billion in U.S. tax money. So he was getting massive government subsidies. Then he turns around and talks about how we need small government. Like nobody should get subsidies. Nobody should get food stamps. Nobody should get any support from the government. So small government for you, big government for him. He gets to loot the treasury. You can't even have like a little meal to make sure your kid isn't hungry. This is the way that these guys think. Then never mind the fact he's had.
And he's just a tool that the elites are working through. Okay? Because it's not Elon Musk that's coming up with these decisions and these schemes. Well, it's a system, okay, that he works for. All right, he's just a tool. He's just a face of it. So I say people could get caught up, all right, on the character and not the system. Okay, but he's just a tool that the elites are using, okay, to to implement technocracy, man. Okay.
How many rockets fucking blow up Took 38 billion from the government to make a dozen rockets blow up instantly, to fail on every front. And by the way, don't take my word for it. Go watch. Thunderfoot has done a number of phenomenal videos on Elon Musk talking about how he's the king of fraud. He's the king of vaporware. He's the king of over-promising and under-delivering. This is a guy who lied repeatedly about there being a Tesla sports car he was going to release with incredible battery range. In order for the battery to actually work like he said it would need to be bigger than the size of the fucking car that they were theoretically going to sell. He lied and said a Tesla truck was coming. The Tesla truck didn't come. Elon lied and said he's going to have Tesla robots by 2021. Total bullshit. Robo-taxis by 2020. Total bullshit. By 2017, fully autonomous driving. Total bullshit. The Hyperloop completely fell apart. Total bullshit. Solar roofs completely fell apart. Total bullshit. Tesla sports car Roadster that was announced in 2017. You have YouTube reviewers who, put the down payment, never fucking got the thing. He said he was going to make a snake charger in 2016. Wasn't able to do it. He said he was going to put you on Mars in a decade. Here we are fucking 15, 20 years later. Wasn't able to do it. So everything this man says and does is a fraud. Again, don't take my word for it. Go watch Thunderfoot's detailed videos on this. He shows you. He's a constant liar, a constant fraudster. And the fact that anybody falls for his shit anymore is astonishing. And now that man conned his way into becoming a fucking trillionaire.
Yeah, man. Esau, he's a fraudster, man. Okay, all this shit Esau hype up, man. A lot of this shit is fraud, man. And there's certain things that the Lord's gonna allow, Esau to pull off because it's within prophecy, man. Okay, but a lot of this, hype that this devil got going on, man. This is based in pure fraud. Okay, all these promises, and he need people to believe the promise. He just wants to put that technology in you, man. Okay, he needs and that goes into why he needs to have a war on information, because he needs his narrative to stick. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 1. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 3. It's from the brother of Tazawon, hopeful elect. It said, "For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shah abhorreth." Okay. So this is the devil. He's boasting in his heart desire of this new world order. He loves to boast about what he gonna do next, and he got this coming, and by this time we'll be able to do this, and humans will be obsolete, and this and that and that. This nigga just be lying, man. Okay, when he makes statements like, "Oh, humans gonna be obsolete," this nigga be lying, man. He can't. The earth ain't created for humans to be obsolete. Okay, he can't replace people, man. This nigga be lying. You see, he be boasting in what he wish he could do. Certain things the Lord gonna allow this man to do because of prophecy's sake. But a lot of things this nigga be wishing and boasting in his heart desire. Is fantasizing. Okay? It says, "For the wickedness boasting in his heart desire, and blessed the covetous," which the covetous is his cronies, man. So these wicked Edomites, they bless each other, okay, in this wicked system, okay, because it's rigged and set up for them to win. Who the Lord abhorred, which means the Lord avoided Esau, man. Okay, he used them for a purpose, an assignment on the left-hand side. Now we're finna see the Lord avoid this nigga, and this nigga be embarrassed, man. Okay, and trying to pull this off, man. All right, Psalms 10, verse 4 said, "The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts." Okay, the Most High is not in all his thoughts, man. Okay, so the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. Okay, Esau, he wants to seek to be the Most High. All right, he's not built to submit to our power, man. That's why he has to be broken, all right, enslaved, and then done away with. Okay, and this man doesn't have a mind towards the righteousness, okay, that the Lord intended the earth to be ran with. Okay, Esau's mind is not compatible with it. That's why he's going to be done away with like a defect. All right, Esau's a defect nation, man. Okay, the Lord's getting ready to put an end to this defect. Okay, so let's Let's go. Here's the book of Job, chapter 20, and verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this from of old, since man was placed upon earth? Okay, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay, and this was posted by the beloved brother Corner Watts, GMS prayer always hopeful elect. Okay, so from the beginning, even before man was placed upon earth, Esau was given, the Lord already had it set up for the devil, okay, to have this current rulership in the earth. Okay, and it's a short rulership compared to the rulership we got coming. Okay, and then you got America, all right, which is coming up on what 250 years. That's short, man, compared to an eternal kingdom. It's not even sand, a piece of sand on the beach, compared to the kingdom we got coming, man. So this devil, he's in his triumph right now, to where he's able to experiment and do this and set this up and try to pull this off and got this going in this system. So he's in his triumph right now. Okay, but his triumph is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment, man. Okay, and we in the end of that moment. Okay, verse 6 and 7 says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Okay, so even though this devil, he has extended his empire even into the heavens, his technology is in the atmosphere, and he's able to use that technology in the atmosphere to control the masses, man, the tracking, the satellites, the technology. Okay, even his weapons are guided by GPS. You see, so this devil, his rulership has extended to the clouds, the atmosphere. But even though he has all this set up, man, and he's going to be brought down to nothing. We're going to see the Lord bring Esau to nothing, man. And this is going to be a great showing of power, the Lord to bring this man to nothing. That's going to be a great showcase of power by the Heavenly Father through Yahushua to bring this man down to nothing, man. Okay? And he's going to be an afterthought. In our kingdom, Esau is going to be an afterthought, man. He's not going to have any authority. Okay? He's not going to be looked at and, you see, with any praise. No, he's going to be a disdain that 1,000 years in our kingdom. He's going to be a disdain. Okay? He's going to be ashamed. Okay? He's going to be an object of mockery, ridicule. Okay? These are the people that try to be the Most High with technology, man. Okay? Esau is going to be a running joke in the kingdom, man. Okay? So that's the point. We leave it there. Just want to tap into that. So Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful. Shalom.